research, research, and research. These are the three words which are the backbone of Amity universities. Whether it's Amity University Noida or our 8 universities through which Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, your founder president, and Dr. Atul Chauhan, your Chancellor, is guiding this group. Give a huge applause to the vision of founder president. A huge applause. It's indeed a very important day for us. A day when Amity family is organizing Asia's biggest international conference, INBUSH, for the 17th time. The most amazing thing in this conference is that right from the day one when we organized it for the first time in the year 1999, same days this conference is happening, year after year, year after year, decade after decade. And when we see the energy amongst the participants who are here, when we see the who's who of the whole world who's on the dais or off the dais, it gives an energy to every Amitian. Give a huge applause to everyone who's on the stage and who's off the stage. On behalf of our founder, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and Mrs. Pooja Chauhan, the Vice Chairman of the Amity Humanity Foundation, an entire Amity family consisting of 150,000 students, 8,000 faculty members, we welcome you all. Please keep on applauding for our strategic partner, Northampton University, Professor Bedford, who is there. A huge applause for him. This stage is not new for Professor Bedford. Professor Bedford is not new for Amity, because from the last 5 years, the strategic partnership which we have been able to develop with the Northampton University is witnessing not only the growth of the students, but the kind of research, the kind of projects which we are doing with them. In the year 2017, our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and the Vice Chancellor of the Northampton University, they have decided now that we will further strengthen our partnership. And you will find that after some time we will be signing the new agreements through which we are now offering engineering, fashion, journalism and communication, and the law programs of Northampton, not only in Noida, but in our London campus, which they are accrediting, also in our Singapore campus and Mauritius campus. Thank you so very much, Professor Bedford, for coming here. We also welcome your team members, Dr. Julie King, Miss Alice, Miss Jessica, Professor Heston, and Miss Chris Hill. Northampton is also the associate partner for organizing this event, and they are also sponsoring the fashion show. And Professor Bedford has been kind enough to say that this time he is going to walk on a ground with the students of Northampton and Northampton. Thank you so very much for this session. Our friend Mr. Richard Abbott, Director Education, British Council. Give a huge applause to him. I think Mr. Richard Abbott is again not a new name for the Amity University. Whenever we have gone to him, whenever we have requested him to be at Amity, he has always been there. Our 2,800 study abroad students who have got a chance to visit UK, I think is a testimony, the hard work, guidance and mentorship which Mr. Richard has been giving. A huge applause again to him. Your Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, under the mentorship of a great visionary president, founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, has always stressed that no business school, no university, no educational institution can exist if they are not having a strong ties with the industry. Dr. Chauhan, who is a testimony of the entrepreneurship, the one who has authored many new theorems, the one who has brought the new education revolution, has always advocated that if you are existing, you have to exist with the industry. And that is the reason that if you look at the history of Amity, 25 years back, no one knew us. And I remember those days when we used to go to abroad and we used to say, Amity, where is Amity? And today, Amity is a global brand. thanks to the philosophy of Dr. Chauhan and our Chancellor, Dr. Chauhan. And you will find that if you look at the QS ranking, we are amongst the top universities in Asia, almost top 200 as per the QS ranking. As per the Times Higher, this university called Amity is among the top universities. As per the BRICS latest ranking of the QS ranking, which has emerged out, Amity again amongst the top 3. You look at the leading accreditation, whether it's WAS, whether it is ASIC, or whether it's any other leading international accreditation, we have been able to do it. And it is because the world knows the strength of Amity. The theorem on which Amity works, we work so closely with the industry. And we are so privileged that today we have with us Mr. Prof. Chancellor, Chairman and Managing Director of Oxygen Group. Give a huge applause to him. An entrepreneur, an IIT graduate, the gentleman who has done thorough research himself, who has risen from the ashes, was the one who came to Amity and said that I want to see that Amity students get the best possible international exposure and the industry-academia partnership. After 10 minutes from now, we will be signing an agreement with Mr. Prof. Chancellor, the Chairman and Managing Director, where they have agreed to create an incubating facility in Amity to the tune of 35 lakhs rupees. Thank you so much for sponsoring. Give a huge applause to Mr. Prof. Professor Jose, President of University of Columbia, give a huge applause to him. We are signing an MOU for offering meaningful internship and research opportunities for the students between both the universities. We have with us Ms. Rumana Ishar Khan, the prime time anchor of ABP News, and I know that how tight your schedule is. And she is the one who is so ably anchoring news without any fear and without any bias. There are very few anchors in the world who create news stories. And I think that she is the one, if you look at the kind of stories she creates, mind-boggling. She touches not only the social issues, but also the issues which are political and economic. Give a huge applause to this young lady who is creating in the media. Professor Miriana, President of the SIT Japan. Professor Nordin Yaha, the Vice Chancellor of UTM University. Please keep on applauding for all of them. I wanted to donate a full circle of time for them. And I think each one of you have a testimony. And I remember that when I was in the QS conference, and I met the UTM Vice Chancellor, and he said that, well, we have heard so much about Amity, and we want to come there. We are so privileged that we are flying from Malaysia to be in this conference. We have with us Ms. Priya Nair. I'll give you a huge applause to them. Only last evening we signed an agreement with their president, and we are now opening a campus in Germany with their university. Mr. George Hunt, Director of the International Development of Teesside University. Professor Shahnawaz, keep on applauding for all of them. Director, University of Salzburg, Austria. Professor Venkata Rao, Vice Chancellor of National Law School of India. Dr. S.N. Pandey. These are the scholars of most of the central universities. Keep on applauding for them, please. Dr. S.N. Pandey, Vice Chancellor, Indira Gandhi Technological Medical Science University. Dr. Bosco, Counselor from the Embassy of Colombia. We are so privileged that you have always been so kind to visit us. Mr. Ashish Vats, Head India Office, Queen University, Belfast. Mr. Chandrasekhar Radhakrishna, Mr. Apurv Chamaria, Vice President, Head Corporate Marketing. Our own General K.J. Singh. I think that there is one journal, we would say, that who has not only working with our founder from the day one, but under whose mentorship, I think in the last 25 years, we have learned so much. Sir, we are so thankful that you are here, and may God give you another 100 years to live. Give a huge applause for General K.J. We are privileged that Amity has the mentors like General K.J. Singh and Dr. Nagpal. Dr. Nagpal, if you can just raise your hand. Dr. Nagpal is again a brand himself, the one who is spearheading our operations of Middle East, and it is his unparalleled contribution that our Chancellor has been able to do and create magical campus in Dubai. We are privileged that you are here. Dr. Bandar another stalwart, Dr. Bandar, you can raise your hand, who is working of Dr. Chauhan and our own Deputy Vice Chancellor, General Bhagat. General Bhagat, if you can just raise your hand. I am personally fan of General Bhagat and the kind of leadership, administrative qualities, and the vision he has given to Amity University. Dr. Kartika Sharma, MD and founder ITV, Professor Santosh Kumar, who is here from the University of Melbourne, Professor Subha Chakravarti, University from Alabama, Professor Shigeru Yamada, if you are here from Japan, Professor Shinji Inui from Japan, Professor Uday Kumar, if you are here, Professor Uday Kumar, you can just raise. I would like to show the face of Professor Uday Kumar, who has specially flown from Sweden, and we feel so proud that as a fellow Indian, the kind of wave we have created in Sweden. Professor Ajit Verma, if you are here, again, we feel so proud of our Indians who are doing extraordinary things abroad. Professor Ismail from Iran, if you are there, Professor Iran, Professor Ismail, and we are signing an agreement with them to come up with another Scopus-based index journal. Professor Yuri from St. Petersburg University, Russia. Professor Omar Halzami, Vice Dean of Saudi Arabia. Professor Chandrakant Jaggi, Department of Operational Research, Delhi University. Professor Jha, Professor Prabhu, Professor Ahmed from Aligarh Muslim University. Professor Gupta, Professor Gopal, Professor Bimal Mishra, Professor Jain, Professor Gopika, Professor Rani, Professor Bhargav, Professor Patriya, Professor Sheikh, Professor Srinivasan Rao, Professor Tripati Rao, Professor Sinha, Professor Bardhan, Professor Jayaraman from Malaysia, Professor Ankit, Professor Dutch, Professor Hassan Garam, Professor Ritu Gandhi, Professor Aslam, Professor Jain, Professor Swaran, Professor Bandokwadhyaya, Professor Chakravarti, Dr. Radha, Professor Iran Ahmed, Professor Joginder Kumar, Professor Rashmita Behra, Professor Handler, Professor Sonal, Professor Anupam Agarwal, Professor Bharat. I think the list is very long, but from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of all the head of institutions, the Dean of the FMS, are all directors who are present, head of the institutions, and on behalf of each and every Amitian, we welcome you from the bottom of our heart. Give a huge applause to all of them. Believe me, I wanted to take all of 486 names which have been given to me, but time is not allowing. But our heart goes to each one of you. 1,870 research papers which we have received. This time is a testimony the kind of research work Amity is producing. And out of that, 480 are being produced, are being presented. 30 Scopus Index Research Journals, 30. Not one, not two, not three, not four. 30 Scopus Research Index Journals are being produced from this conference. And we feel so proud that it has happened because of the people who are on the stage and who have contributed. Thank you so much for making Amity so special. Coming on the theme of the conference, I was told to talk about the vision of Dr. Chauhan and to talk about the 4 C's. I will be very brief, but let me tell you, a few years back, when as a professor, I used to go in a class and I used to talk on the cross-cultural management or on the international business. I used to see lot of students just sitting and looking at me and taking notes. When today I go in the class and I interact with the students, I see more laptops, I see more notebooks, and somewhere behind the notebooks I also see some faces. When I'm talking, when I'm speaking, when I'm giving a lecture, I know that the students, they are also on the Facebook. I also know that many of them, they are also doing messaging on their phone. They are on their iPhone. And the challenge for me is to still keep them engaged. 20 years back when I used to go in the class, right, my class meant everything for the students. Today my class starts after the class. Because once I am out of the class, I get messages, I get emails, I get queries, and I have to be whole day, 24 hours. I have to be on the social media to interact with them. Which means the systems have changed, education has changed, and home is no different. When we go home, we find the youngsters more busy on machines rather than us. I remember my father used to come, he's in heaven today. My father used to come and all of us used to patiently wait for him. And whenever he used to come, we used to run to him. We used to run to him. And Mrs. Pooja Chauhan, who herself is a very affectionate mother, along with a noted professional, a chartered accountant, knows it much better, that today, when we see the youngsters, they are 85% of the time they are busy on their electronic gadgets. So if the time is changing, what should we do? Should we cry in the classes? Or should we say that you need to listen to us? No. I think universities are changing, education sector is changing, research is changing, and we need to engage the youngsters. Today, youngsters are coming to the university because they want to interact amongst themselves. From teaching to learning, from learning to experiential learning, and from experiential learning to experimenting is the mantra. And Dr. Chauhan understood it long time back. And that is the reason you will find that we are at Amity giving experiential learning. The new theorem, the recent rankings which are coming up, it's because Amity is concentrating on experiential learning, on research. We are trying to bring a system, we are trying to give an opportunity to every student who is a part of Amity family, that they can spend some time abroad. And we are so lucky that we have 283 foreign partners, and our students are spending some time with them. Most meaningful internships which we are giving to them is a testimony to which Amity stands. We are thankful to each one of you for making Amity what it is. Amity is a young university. It's a dream of the Indian youth. A market where you will find that every fourth person in the world, consumer in the world is from India. Out of every 6 academicians which you will count in the top 200, 300, that you will find one is Indian. If you look at the purchasing power and you look at the GER ratio, and this is what Professor Prof was telling me, that India has kept a target of 30%, whereas the UK has 27%, which means that new universities will come up. There is a tremendous scope. We are a young country where 47% of the population is between 18 to 25, which shows that we have a future, and this future belongs to and is in the hand of all of you here. Once again, on behalf of Amity University, I want to thank each and every partner of ours who is here, each and every head of the institution, director who is here. I can see Ms. Veena Swaroop also sitting, and the one who has been so delicately working with the public sectors. I can see General Bhubanna, I can see General Surinder Kumar, I can see Chaya ji, I can see Sarita ji, I can see many heads of the institution. And let me tell you what a great team we have in our business school. Professor Bhavna Kumar is sitting, and I can see the deans and directors of the Greater Noida campus. Give a huge applause to all of them. And also a huge applause to all the researchers. Right from the morning are presenting the papers. I'm sure that in the next 3 days, we will be able to come on a conclusion. We will not be only deliberating on the forces, we'll try to come on the solutions that how we can create an environment which is mostly meaningful to our children. We can produce better product, we can produce better research, we can produce much better things for the humanity, and we can make this world a better place to live. Thank you so very much.